International cricket returned to Sri Lanka after over 10 months, only to see England whitewash the home team in a two-test series where both games were played in Galle. Let's have a look at how Sri Lanka and its players fared in this forgettable series. Sri Lanka opted to play 3 spinners in both test matches, which turned out to be quite a faulty strategy given their struggles with the bat. They had bowling all-rounders batting at number 7 despite the poor form their top order has been in lately, and such poor calls has only earned them a rating of 3 out of 10 for team selection. Next up are the top order batsmen. Let's start with Lahiru Thirimanne. The hosts had a brittle top order who were utterly unreliable and only performed well in patches. Lahiru Thirimanne was chosen to open the batting after regular skipper Dimuth Karunaratne was sidelined by an injury. Thirimanne made a century after 8 long years in the first test and batted with quality at the top of the order. He was one of the rare positives in the series and he seemed to enjoy the opening spot. Kusal Perera. Despite a 62 in the first test, Kusal Perera looked quite ordinary with his shot selection in this series. All 4 of his dismissals came off extremely irresponsible strokes that one would not expect from a senior of Perera's caliber. Then there was the vacuum-like number 3 position, Oshada Fernando and Kusal Mendis. Both Kusal Mendis and Oshada Fernando managed just 17 runs together at the position where generally the best batsman of the team bats. Neither made any impact in the series apart from some sharp fielding by Fernando at short leg. Angelo Mathews. Silently, Angelo Mathews has been the most reliable batsman for Sri Lanka for the past 2 years. He averages over 55 in tests in that period and he made sure that he was at his best in Galle too when his team badly needed a hero. His patience threw the 219 ball knock worth 71 runs while trying to save Sri Lanka from humiliation in the first test, and his classy 110 in the second test were a testament to his value. Dinesh Chandimal. Chandimal was basically a replica of KJP in terms of shot selection. Being the stand-in captain of the team, the way he got out in his last outing was inexcusable. He was in fine form and had no trouble getting bat on ball, but his shot selection was terrible. He was also not the most impressive as a captain, as the team looked to be just going with the flow with no clear direction or plan for most periods of both tests. Niroshan Dickwella. The Lankan gloveman got closer than ever before tasting his maiden test century in the second test of the series, but threw it away with his infamously cheekish approach towards batting. He played a brilliant 92 in the second test, which emanated his potential of being Sri Lanka's designated number 7. His safe hands and the chirp behind the trumps held him in good stead too. Dasun Shanaka and Wanindu Hasaranga. It was quite unfair by the 2 all-rounders to be dropped after one sloppy test match where there were more mistakes than positives for the team as a whole. But these 2 also did weaken their cause by showing no intent to fight. Shanaka was wicketless in the 7 overs that he bowled, and in batting he was clueless against the turning ball. Wanindu seems to be still struggling to find his rhythm in Test cricket. He bowled only 15 overs in the series and couldn't earn himself a wicket. As a batsman, he did nothing of note. Dilruwan Perera and Ramesh Mendis. Dilruwan Perera was supposed to be the leader of the spin department. Instead, both Dilruwan and Ramesh Mendis used the light from Ambudenia's torch. Mendis could be excused as he pulled off 2 key wickets, Jos Buttler and Joe Root, on his debut, but the senior pro has no excuses for the way he bowled. He kept releasing the pressure that Lasith Ambudenia built from one end by bowling all over the place. Perera was somewhat redeemed by his fighting 67 in the first innings of the second test. Lasith Ambudenia. This young left-arm spinner announced that he is here to stay in the Test cricket arena for a long time. He bowled like a pro and fought single-handedly throughout the series. Had he gotten a bit more support from the other end, he would have wrapped up at least one of the 2 tests for Sri Lanka. The 24-year-old recorded his first 10-wicket haul in tests in this series and looks capable of picking up many more 10-fers for Sri Lanka in the future. Asitha Fernando and Suranga Lakmal. After the second day of each test, one would question if Sri Lanka even had any quicks in their team. They were underused by the skipper and cannot be blamed for not making an impact in the series. For a rookie seamer, Asitha Fernando looked impressive and Suranga Lakmal was tidy as usual. But the pair going wicketless in a game where the visiting seamers picked up 10 wickets is something that reflected badly on them. This is how we at ThePapare.com summed up the performances of the Sri Lankans in this Test series. What do you think of it? Let us know a rating for each of them in the comments below. For premium content and exclusive member benefits, subscribe to ThePapare.com today.